Welcome back to Rebuilding the Vegas Golden Knights with Mitch Marner. Seasons 1 and 2 are up with part 1 on my channel. You can go check that out now. First things first, though, we got to look at the draft. We only really have one notable pick. It's a second-round pick. So we're going to go ahead and look at our options, see if we can need to take a player, see if we want to move it. We'll see what we want to do. After that, we're going to look at the re-sign period, maybe do some contracts around, see how we can structure our team, and hopefully push for a Stanley Cup in season number 3. And looking to start off year 3 with a huge trade. Just looking to get a little bit better and a little bit younger. Matt Boldy is the guy we're going to be targeting. I think he fills a big need on our top lines with some power forward type abilities. He's a big guy at 6'2", 201 pounds. Lots of abilities, close quarters, make it snappy, the list goes on. 6.7 over 4 years is really not a bad contract for a first line forward. And I think he fits in really well on that first or second line. Barbashev's the guy I'm looking to move out. Him and Riley Smith. Both of them are just getting older. Barbashev still doing, his overall still really high at an 88. I don't think he's bad by any means, but get a little bit younger, get a little bit better right now. I think that's somebody I'm willing to ship out. Riley Smith is the next guy. I think he's just getting older. He's 36 years old, 82 overall, so he is regressing down to an 84. So who knows what his overall will be next year. And making 3.5, I just think his role is replaceable in free agency or through a trade. Packaging that second round pick from this year, I went through the draft. I didn't see anybody that I really liked. Didn't see anybody that caught my eye. So I think that's worth it to move out, and then a third round pick down the road. I'm not sure this is enough to actually get it done right now, but this is a good starting point, and we can work from here and just try and add a really dynamic, powerful forward to our team. And this is what the trade for Matt Boldy is going to end up looking like. I did have to add in a first round pick next year, but we are getting a third round pick back, so a little ammunition to trade or draft if we get there. Matt Boldy is just a guy that I think adds such a dynamic element to our offense. First line forward, I think, is somebody we're missing, a definitive first line forward on that left hand side. Dorfio's fine; he's pretty good for a young player, but I don't know if he's really filling that role for us exactly how we want. And Matt Boldy could play on the second line if we need him to, but I think the big thing here is his power forward ability. We're really lacking size. People who get to the net on those top two lines, and I think he's somebody who really adds. Get to the net, create plays in front of the net in tight, and just create space for our other superstars to play with. So I think this is a really good deal for us. I think this is somebody who really can help us push over the edge and get to that Stanley Cup. Send this over and they will accept it. So a huge addition. Matt Boldy now a big part of our franchise moving forward. And that's going to do it for the draft. We have a couple holes to fill. We did open up a little bit of cap space by shipping out Riley Smith. And I have some other players that I'm expecting to move out to create a little bit of space going into next year. But I think that's a really good addition for us. That is pretty much our draft for this year, is adding Matt Boldy. So I think anytime you can add a player like that in the draft, especially when you don't have a first round pick, I think that's a good deal for us. Have some coaches to re-sign. I'm going to go through coaches and scouts, but I will see you guys in the re-sign period. In the re-sign period, we really have a lot of our team locked up, especially our core is really locked up right now. But we do have some players that we can bring back. We do have $6.5 million to play around with, so we'll see what we want to do. I think the first thing here is going to lock me up. Cormier, I think he's just our best option for a third pair defenseman right now. He is pretty cheap still. He only wants $2.8 million. I'm not opposed to going a little bit further, but as you can see, he wants a little bit more. And I think right now, just with the way the cap is set up for us, we probably don't want to dish out more money to him. If anything, we want to get him a little bit cheaper if we can. So I'm going to send over a 2.7, see if he agrees to that, and I think he can play on our bottom pair, and he does. And again, he's an offensive defenseman, so he's a good option to create a little bit of offense from our defensive side, even though we do have Korchinski, and he's a good option as well. But this is somebody on the depth side who could create some offense. Other than that, we do have a couple of guys that I want to bring back. Obviously, Lavoie is somebody that I think we can bring back pretty cheap. He's looking for a one-way deal this year, so he's going to want to be on the roster. But as a depth piece at 26 years old, I think this is somebody that we can bring back. I'm going to offer for $1 million. If he doesn't, I'll qualify him. Stidlin is somebody that I probably don't want to bring back right now. If he is the best option in free agency, then okay. But at 1.1, at 79 overall, he still is really good on the faceoff dot, and he's still huge, obviously. But I don't know if I want to agree right now. So I'm going to go ahead and release his contract. We might circle around with him in free agency, similar to how we did last year with Colton Sissons. We didn't end up bringing him back, but we looked around at him. Podkolzin, somebody that I signed last year, he just isn't really progressing the way I wanted him to. 78 overall, 26 years old. If he's cheap, which he is, I think it's probably worth it to bring back. I think he probably does end up being around an 80 overall when the season starts. You know, these overalls kind of fluctuate a little bit. Even if he isn't, though, a two-way deal, I don't think that's bad at all. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then just a couple of guys I'm going to qualify, set everything up. The biggest guy left after that, after I get all these figured out, is Patrick Kane. 83 overall now. He was pretty good on our team last year, but he is looking for a little more security. 2 years. And just at 30 years old, I'm not sure that's something I want. You know, that's almost 40 years old now. This will take him to 40 years old. Maybe if it's super cheap. So we'll circle back with that once I'm done cleaning all this up. Goalie-wise, we are locked up with our franchise goalie. Schmidt needs a new backup goalie contract, but he is only an 82 overall, so he shouldn't want a lot. Yeah, 1.6, I think that's fine. We'll go ahead and sign that. And that only leaves us with $3.8 million left, so, you know, Kane's going to be a hard guy to fit in, I think, but we'll take a look at what we can do. Trying to get a little crafty with the Patrick Kane deal. 2 years, $2 million, so it's a pretty significant pay cut, but I'm going to offer a modified no-trade clause. I'm just trying to see if I can get him as cheap as possible, you know, for a third line option for us with the cap restrictions we have right now. So I'll send that over. I don't expect him to sign that, and if not, we'll let him go to free agency, and we'll see if we can, you know, pick him up later on or, you know, find a replacement for him. I am going to send forward a couple days and see what they say. We have 2 contracts out right now. And here is Kane's response. He does want to test free agency, so we'll let him do that. Like I said, I'm not opposed to bringing Kane back. I liked him on the third line. He was a pretty good fit for us. But if he wants to test it out, he can go ahead and do that. Lavoie is going to accept the offer. He's going to stick with the team, so that is good for us. And that's really it for the re-sign period right now. Like I said, Kane's going to go, so we'll release him right now just to clear up our contracts here. And then we'll come back around in free agency, see where we need to fill holes. It's really going to be wingers and I think depth forward positions for us. Like I said, our core is really locked up right now. A lot of money invested there, so it should be locked up. But I think we are in a okay spot moving into next year. We have a lot of top-line players. It's all about just balancing it out a little bit more. And before we even hit free agency, I'm going to make a move just to save a few bucks. It's going to be McNabb. He's in our 7th D role right now, making 2.8. I just think we can find something a little bit cheaper. Miramano is the guy I'm looking at, 1.5, so we save about $1 million bucks, and he plays both left and right side, and he fits in all 3 of our defensive pairings, so he can slot in wherever he's needed. Going to do a 7th-round pick swap on here as well because they wanted it for some reason, and that is good to go. And so that really saves about $1 million bucks, maybe not doing a whole lot for us, but now we can go into the free agency period, see what's looking around. We have about $5 million, almost exactly to spend, so I don't think Quinn Hughes is somebody we're going to be in the running for. Vince Dunn is here. He's been on the trade market a couple times now, and I don't hate the number, $7.9 million for him at an 88 overall. I don't think he's a bad option, but a little bit out of our price range. Jack Quinn is developing really well, an 88 overall here. Jared McCann's here, an 87. So these are the guys that are going to be a little bit out of our price range. Scrolling through here, we're going to look for guys that really fit what we're looking for. Again, it's going to be winger positions and probably like middle depth for 4 positions for us as well. You know, down the middle and on the 3rd and 4th lines. And going through this list, 2 names are sticking out to me immediately. Vladislav Nemestikov is somebody that I think could really help our team on the 3rd line in a Patrick Kane replacement type role. 85 overall still. Is a little bit on the older side, 34 years old. Only wants $3.8 million though. No other teams are interested, so I'm going to try and swoop him up before anybody else comes along. I am going to bump it down just a little bit to a 3.75, but I think that's a really good deal for somebody at an 85 overall, and he immediately signs on. The next name I saw, and I don't know if this guy's going to really be an option for us, is Gavin Brindley. You know, he's a 22-year-old, 84 overall. Big knock on him. He's only 5'9", so he's a small guy. But I think it's somebody really interesting at 22 years old that is developing pretty well. Somebody I'd like to have. He is an RFA, so that's what makes it a little tricky here. They're probably just going to match this deal. But I'm going to see if we can send this over and get him, you know, right at, 2.1 is fine. It's going to be 3rd-round pick this year. That's also fine with me. And we'll see what he says. So that's going to take up pretty much all of our cap space, but those 2 really good options. I'm going to fast forward a couple days and just see if they do match it. I guess if he accepts our offer first, but if he does, then if they match it. And again, somebody I think that we can swoop away that is developing pretty nicely right now. Brindley's not interested in that contract right now. I might wait a couple more days to see if he gets more interested as free agency goes along and contract values start coming down a little bit. But they might re-sign him in Columbus. Either way, it's somebody I would like, but it's not the end of the world. I could look to clear up about $1 million if I really wanted to. If he wasn't an RFA, I probably would do that, but I just can't guarantee that we're going to get him. So it's a little risky doing that and then not getting him. There are some more interesting names there. I mean, Drysdale is somebody who's an RFA as well. He is on the right side. He wants $8 million, which is a little bit steep, but 87 overall. He's a good player for sure. Just probably not somebody that we're looking at right now. Philip Deneau, 86 overall at only 3.4. Obviously, we only have 2.1, but that would be a good deal as well. So I'm going to search through. Again, Brindley's the guy I'm going to be watching like a hawk to see if his value starts coming down some or if he disappears. But I'm going to pick up some backup options as well. Again, just looking for like depth forward. Kane is here. We probably could afford Kane if we really wanted to. And that would be an interesting third line with Nemestikov and probably Ridley Greig. But yeah, I think we have options. We can go through this. I already see some guys like Jan Krok, who's 1.8 for 2 years for 83 is not too bad either. So there's definitely options. I just want to see what we got going on. Looking at our roster, we probably do need to bring in a center and a wing still, even with bringing in a Nemestikov. So if we want to have a good deep team, we probably need to make this $2 million stretch. And I think Garrett Hathaway here at $900,000 is not a bad option in 81. He can play either side for us as well. Other than that, there are some center options that I'm interested in. I do like Goncalves, 26 years old. He is a UFA, so he's not old, and I think that's really beneficial for us. I don't want to bring a bunch of old guys and just have them get older. So I'm kind of looking at, Goncalves and maybe somebody like a Garrett Hathaway. There were some more options up top, but they just get more expensive the more you go up. I do like Evan Rodriguez a lot. He is kind of like that grindy type of player on the bottom line. As a playmaker, he doesn't have great faceoffs at a 75, so that's my big, what I'm worried about happening. I do still want good faceoffs. So looking at Goncalves, I mean, still only 75, so I do probably think I'm going to bring in Garrett Hathaway just on that $900,000 deal just because it is a really good deal. And we could bring in Martinook, but he's one overall less, and they play kind of the same position and role. So I think we'll go ahead and sign this deal, and then, I think I might wait a couple days. There's just so many options here that I think I can get these guys to come down a little bit. And yeah, I think that is still looking good for us. Sim forward a couple days, and the centers are starting to thin out a little bit, but I think I found our Stenlund replacement. Jordan Stahl, if you play this game, you know he has really good faceoffs, 89 faceoffs. Power forward, 6'4". I mean, it's almost a Stenlund copy exactly. I'm going to try and get him at like $1 million, see if he'll accept that because nobody else is really offering him. And that will be a really good signing for us. I'm not sure he will, but we'll work from this and see what we can get done moving forward. I think that will fill out our team if we can get one more guy in here on the 4 group. The defense is pretty much set. So moving forward a couple days, see if he agrees to that. Not quite. We'll bump it up a tiny bit again. Unless somebody jumps in here and starts offering these guys, I'm just going to keep playing around with these and try and get the best deal we can. Just because it is such a, lower position value that I'm looking at right now on that bottom line. So we'll go up to 1.1, see if that gets it done. A couple more days. I'll jump back in when we have the deal. 1.1 got it done. Again, 38 years old. He's probably a very short-term option for us, but that should fill us out pretty well. We'll take a look at our forward lines, our contract lines here, and then move forward to the regular season. So our forward's going to look like down the middle, Eichel, Hurdle, Garrig, and Stahl. I think that's pretty deep down the middle. I would like hopefully some progression from Garrig and Hurdle, stays up. Eichel, I think, is going to stay obviously in that 94 overall range. Left winger, Boldy, Dorofeyev, and Nemestikov. Those are a pretty solid 1, 2, 3. And then our fourth line left winger is going to come from this right side. So we have Marner, Stone, and then this will read a little bit weak. Hathaway, Holtz, and Kolasar. So one of these guys is going to be on the third line. The other one of them is going to be on the left side as well. It's probably going to be Holtz on that left side, or on the right side on the third line, and then Hathaway on the fourth line. So Holtz might get a little bit of an upgrade in playing time this year. See if he can start making some development. Lavoie is going to be our depth option. He plays right wing or center, so we can jump in. Maybe we might, look to see if, Demick here or if anybody else in the 4 group is ready for that promotion. Puckholzen's still here, so he could be that depth option for us as well. And then looking at our defense in the main roster, it's going to be Theodore Korchinski, who's making a little bit more progression here. Hannafins, Evans, which I do hope we see some more progression. If we don't, that might be a pain point that we target at the trade deadline. Cormier is going to step in with Korzak, and then we have our 70 in Miramonov. So pretty good there. And then our goalie, obviously Wallstedt and Schmidt. A really good goalie tandem. And it looks like Wallstedt has franchise low potential now. I'm not sure if he had that. I think he just had medium elite, so he might have been upgraded, which would be fantastic if he was. That is a really good, and the contract at 9.25 is really good as well. So that is what our team looks like. We'll fast forward now to the regular season, take a look at what the actual lines look like and the overalls when we get there, and then we'll hop right in for season 3, poised to have a big year. And here are the lines for season number 3. That new look first line, Matt Boldy, Eichel, Marner, I think it's going to be great. Boldy's going to be a great producer for us, I have no doubt, and he's going to really open up some space for those other two guys. Dorothy is going to slide on the second line. I think it's a more natural fit for him there with Hurdle and Stone, so a really good second line. Holtz, Grieg, and Mestikov. Holtz is kind of the weak point right now on that third line, but he is young. I'm hoping he can really step up and deliver some big-time goals for us. Grieg also progressing okay at an 84 overall, still really young at 25 years old. Nemestikov's going to step in, veteran presence on that line. That should be a really good third line. Hathaway, Stahl, and Kolesar, a big, bruising, not fun to play against fourth line. A lot of size there. Our defense is also looking really good. Korchinski, Theodore. Evans is somebody I need to take a step up. I mentioned this before, but if he doesn't, that could be a point that we look to upgrade in the trade deadline. Hannafin still hanging around at 30 years old on that second line, 87 overall. Cormier and Korzak on the third line. And then our goalies, of course, Wallstedt and Schmidt. Wallstedt's still an 89 overall, but he did pick up a ton of abilities, so he is absolutely loaded up right now. This is a good team. This team should compete for a cup this year. There's no reason they shouldn't. We're going to send them to the trade deadline, see where we end up. Hopefully, we don't have a disappointing year like we did in season number 1, but we should be competing. Day before the trade deadline, and we are at the top of the league with the best teams in the league. 40, 18, and 5. That's good enough for 85 points and first in the Pacific. The Rangers, the Panthers, the Blackhawks all lead their divisions. Blackhawks rebuild is going really well right now. 92 points for them. Rangers at 91. Panthers only 80 points, a little bit of a weaker division, but us at 85. Day before the trade deadline, and we are up there with the best teams in the league, leading our division with 85 points, 40, 18, and 5. Leading the Metro is the Rangers at 91 points. Panthers leading the Atlantic at 80 points. Blackhawks, their rebuild's going really well with Bedard, 92 points leading the Central. We're going to take a look at our stats, see if we can identify, what's working, what's not working, and then we'll jump into the trade deadline and see if we can get a little bit better. Marner leaves our team again at the trade deadline, 77 points in 63 games. Eichel also over a point a game at 72 points. These guys kind of just pace each other. It seems like they're always right next to each other. Stone is having a really good year at 35 years old. Boldy's having an okay year, 56 points. Nothing extraordinary, but he is racking up a good amount of assists at 41. And that line is he's a plus 21 on that first line. Marner plus 26. That line's doing really well. Theodore is a plus 36 on that pairing. He is have 46 points, leads all defensemen on our team. Great year out of Shea Theodore. Hurdle's having a pretty good year at 45 points. Korchinski's having an okay year at 36 points. Nothing too fantastic, but a little over a point per game, or a little over half a point per game. Ridley Gregg, 34 points. Not too bad from a third line center. Jordan Stahl having a pretty good year on the fourth line, 26 points. Nothing crazy, but not bad out of a fourth line center. Mestikov's okay. Hannafin's doing 23 and 63. Holtz is the one guy I was looking at the most. 19 points in 63 games. He is at a 0 plus minus, so it's not like he's getting caved in or anything on that third line, but he's just not producing enough. So I think that's going to be our big target this year at the trade deadline is an upgrade on that third line. Looking for a guy, Patty Kane-like, somebody who can step in, maybe even on the older side, just a rental. But we do need an upgrade there because that looks like the only line that's really not doing fantastic. I mean, the fourth line obviously is not doing, it's a fourth line, but it's not getting caved in. Stahl's a plus 11, so that's really good. That is going to be the big update there, though. I think we're jumping in the trade deadline, see if we can't find that third line winger position for us. And I think that is going to be the biggest thing we need for this year. First guy I'm looking at to fill that role is Samoskevich from the Florida Panthers. He is an 84 overall, pretty good for a third line scoring forward role. He has really good speed at a 91 speed. He kind of adds a new dynamic to that line. He is only 25 years old. He fits in that bottom six forward line. He's a little expensive, so I'm going to try and get him at 50% retained for a second round pick a little bit down the line. I think that's a good deal for both teams. Obviously, the Panthers are one of the better teams in the league, so in real life, this probably wouldn't be a great trade for them. But if we can swing this, maybe we'll have to add in a little bit more to get this guy away from them. But I think this would be a really good addition to that third line, add some speed, add some dimension there. So we'll work this through. Obviously, this is going to take a little bit more, but I think we can get this done. And that will be the trade. They ended up really not wanting to retain money, so it's going to be a second and a sixth round pick. So I think still a pretty good deal for us. No retention on him, so we are going to be a little tight to the cap right now, but we had enough to fit him under there, and that's really the big change I wanted to make. I am going to look at Riker Evans now and see if there's an upgrade there. He's just not progressing very well. 83 overall right now. He's still young, so I don't want to necessarily just pull the plug for no reason, and his contract's not too bad at 3.9. But is he a championship level, second line defender? I'm not sure he is. So if there is a deal that makes sense, I will pull the trigger. I'm not sure there will be in this trade deadline, but that's what I'm going to look for next in the time remaining. Here's a fun trade. As the trade deadline runs down, we only have a few minutes left to get this done, but Reinbacher is a right D. He is a little bit better than Evans right now. A lot of it better, 87 overall, medium elite potential, super cheap, super young. I'm going to try and swing this deal last minute, and I'm willing to give up quite a bit for this guy. I think it would be a huge upgrade, and I think, it's a little bit cheaper too, so we'll see what we can get done. I'm willing to throw in quite a bit to make this happen, even in the future, because I really do think this is a really good trade for us. Right at the end of the deadline, I was able to swing the deal for Reinbacher. It was a lot. It ended up being Riker Evans and 3 first-round picks. I probably could have got a little bit better deal than that, but the deadline, I'm not joking, as I hit send, it passed and the deal went through at the same time. But we already add a guy. The way I'm looking at it, this is a future, 1-2 combo of Korchinski and Reinbacher, both 23 years old. These guys are going to step in and replace Theodore and Hanifin when they get older. And the defense is set up for a long time on this Vegas Golden Knights team, as long as they can bring these guys back, obviously. Korchinski saw him pretty long term. Reinbacher needs a contract in a couple years. He's also super cheap. Really helps our cap situation. It's a win-win. Those first-round picks, obviously, we're going to be depleted after this, but we need to get a cup. That's what this is all about, is to get that Stanley Cup, and picks don't win you cups. The forward group is looking a little bit better as well with Samoskevich slotted in on that third line. Holtz is going to move down to the fourth line, add some scoring, hopefully. Stahl at 79 is regressing a little bit. To be exact, he's almost 40 years old. Kolesar still on that right side. But overall, this team looks fantastic. Definitely the best team we've ever had, especially on defense. Reinbacher, I'm going to put on the second line to start, just because he doesn't have as many abilities as Theodore does. But this is a championship-winning defense, without a doubt. I'm going to work on chemistry a little bit, talk to Reinbacher, see if he wants to fit in. But this team is stacked. Moving forward to the playoffs, obviously we should have no problem getting in. It's all about doing damage once we're there. One thing I do want to do before we get to the playoffs, though, is look at the contracts, see if there's anybody that we can get in at a cheaper deal now than if we waited later on. We do have quite a bit of contracts to hand out. Big ones like Mark Stone, Pavel Dorofeyev, Samoskevich is going to need a contract. Obviously, we just picked him up. Still is young. Maybe looking to bring him on. He is an RFA as well, so we have a little bit of leverage on that one. Mezikov probably not looking at it right now, but we'll take a look at all of these guys, see if there's any moves to be, made, any contracts to be handed out here. Holtz is another guy I'd probably like to bring back. We do have $18 million to spend next year, so we have quite a bit of money to work with. It's just, what do we want to do? Mark Stone's the first big one. We'll take a look at what he wants. He wants a raise, 7.25, going into his 35, 36, 37-year-old contract age. I'm not sure that's something I want to do right now. I would be interested at like 6.9, what he's at right now, so maybe that's something we do in the future. Dorofeyev is a guy that I really want to bring back. He is one of our better scoring options right now. He only wants 6.2 at 86 overall. He is kind of like a solidified second line scorer for us. I'm going to try and put this down just a smidge, maybe to like a 5.9, and maybe work on a modified no trade clause. Something like a 50% at a 5.95, right at that first bar on the contract offer. We're going to send this over. I like that deal. Hopefully he gets it done. Next guy I'm going to look at is Samoskevich. Pretty cheap. He is right now making 4.6. He only wants 3.75. I would be happy with doing this. And I think I am going to go ahead and offer that over. He's not interested in a contract extension, but maybe it's, giving what he wants. Meskov, I can't imagine he wants more than what he's making right now. Yeah, only 1.8. He is regressing, though. I want to see what he ends up at the end of the year before I hand out a contract. Alexander Holtz is a guy that I really want to keep around. I want to try and develop him. He wants to stick around at 1.1. For a depth scoring option, 1.1 is not bad. If I can get him at maybe just shave off a little bit of money from that. And that's a little bit of a discount from what he's taking this year as well. So it's so far going pretty well as long as these guys agree to these contract. Kolasar, I'm going to wait on. Only wants 1.75, which again is a little bit of a discount from what he's making right now. But he is 30. I'm not sure that's an option for us. He's just been a depth forward. And I feel like that is somebody that's replaceable, but I don't mind having him around. He is on our fourth line right now. Miramonov is a 7D option for us. He makes 1.5 right now. He wants 1.9. I'm not too interested in 1.9, but I would be interested in something like what he's making right now. He doesn't really want to go shorter. He is 30 years old. We'll wait on that one. It's not a terrible contract, though, for 7D, so I might swing back around. Gary Hathaway, I'm not even going to look at. I'm not too interested. He is regressing pretty heavily right now, even from what he was. And the rest of these guys are just kind of depth pieces for us. So those are the big ones. I'm going to skip a few days, see if they agree to those, and hopefully we can get a couple good contracts signed before the free agency period next year. Dorofeev is back. He accepts our offer, so that is a really good deal for us, I think, for a good scoring second liner and one of our better options. Samoskevich is back as well, so we extend a guy that we traded for. Thought he might be a rental, but he's going to stick around. Good third line option for us, and still pretty young at 25. And Holtz is going to stick around too. Still trying to develop Holtz, but he's a really cheap deal. So those are the big guns. The rest of the guys, I'm okay with waiting until the end of the year. We're going to go ahead now and sim out to the rest of the playoffs, see where we end up. We're almost locked, guaranteed to make the playoffs. The question is, can we keep that first seed? Right now, we have a pretty good lead over the Kings in the second seed. And we're at the end of the regular season. We ended up with a really good record here at 52, 23, and 7. That was good enough for first in the division as it loads. We're going to be facing up the Wild again in the playoffs. Let's take a look at what the standings were and what our stats were for the year. And here are those standings. 111 for the Knights, 91 for the Kings, Canucks finishing for third. Taking a look at the entire league now, see what the standings were. Rangers won the President's Trophy at 121. Blackhawks, again, the rebuild is going so well at 118. Panthers 111, and we were fourth in the league with 111 points, tying the Panthers. Notably missing the playoffs this year, the Montreal Canadiens, 13th in the league, but did not make it. Bruins at 16th, they didn't make it, but the Canucks at 17th did make it. And the Oilers at 19th in the league snuck into the playoffs. We'll see what kind of damage they can do. For our stats this year, Marner is going to lead our team once again. 99 points in 82 games. Eichel's going to get 94 points in 82 games, 43 goals, 51 assists for Eichel. Notably here as well, 243 shots for both Marner and Eichel, so exactly the same shot total for the year. Very interesting. It looks like Eichel had a little bit better shooting percentage, and he got 43 goals. Boldy's going to be third on the team, 79 points, almost a point per game out of Matt Boldy at 27 years old. He is going to fit like a glove on that first line, and he should just keep getting better. 24 goals, 55 assists. Mark Stone had a really good year, 75 points, almost a point per game for Mark Stone at 35 years old. Tomas Hertl, 61 points in 82 games, not too bad. Theodore had probably his best year for us in the rebuild so far, 59 points, 17 goals, 42 assists. Dorofeev had a great year, 30 goals out of him, 58 points. Good thing we got him locked down to a good extension. Korchinski, 48 points, over half a point a game, 6 goals only. I would like to see a little bit more goal scoring, but 42 assists, not too bad. Samoskevich at 44, Grieg at 42. It looks like, for the most part, our team was really good. Theodore at 42 plus minus is really good. The rest of the guys also, looking pretty good. That first line was rolling all year. Looking at our goalie now, Wallstedt had a pretty good year, 915 at 249. So, not anything that's blowing me out of the water, but that is a pretty good year out of the 25-year-old goalie. Schmidt, the backup, had a bit of a rougher year, 899 with 317. He only did play 19 games, so he was 8-6, but Wallstedt with 44 wins, that is a pretty good year out of the 25-year-old. Looking at the entire league now, Nikolai Ehlers is going to lead the league in points, followed by Mikko Rantanen at 117. Svechnikov's going to get 115, so that Carolina connection continues to roll in the rebuilds. Sam Reinhart, 113 points. Jason Robertson, 112. Looks like Dallas had a pretty good year. Barkov, 110. McDavid got 108 with Draisaitl tying him at 108. Bedard, 107. Matthews, 104. Aho, 104. McKinnon, Nylander is going to round out the guys above 100 points. Leading the league in goals this year, it is going to be Mikko Rantanen, put up 64 goals. Pasta put up 58, McKinnon 57, Bedard 54. Bedard continues to grow really well. Only 22 years old, already putting up 107 points in a year. Taking a look at goalies for the entire league, leading off with the wins is going to be Bobrovsky, 39 years old, 907, 268. Not a terrific year, but he did put up a lot of wins. Shesterkin and Wallstedt are going to be tied for second most. It looks like Shesterkin had a little bit better of a year than Wallstedt did. Vasilevsky put up a 910 and a 269, 43 wins for him. Blackwood, Knight, both above 40 wins. Dostal had a pretty good year at 910, and Levi had a 918, so probably the best year on save percentage for him. And that will do it for the stats. We will now roll into the playoffs. Big year for us. I really think this is a year that we can get a lot of deep playoff run going. Our team is absolutely stacked, and we should be putting these guys out pretty quickly. We'll send the first 3 games with the Minnesota Wild, see what we can put together in these 3 games. A 3-2 loss on the first game, an overtime loss in game number 2, and an overtime win in game number 3. So hopefully we can bring this back for game number 4. Very similar to what we were doing last year against the Minnesota Wild in the first round. Overtime win in game number 4. Big, huge game 5. Need to pick up a win here, put ourselves in the driver's seat and not have to be coming back. And we won't do it. So we're going to go ahead and watch this game, simulate it, and see if we can. If we need to jump in, we will. Here in the first period now, we are underway. Going to be simulating this game pretty quickly, but it looks like right now 2-1. Shots are now tied up at 2-2 at approaching 15 minutes in the first period. Wild power play is going to come in, and we are going to have a goal. It's going to be Lecker Mackey on Wallstedt, so the Wild take a 1-0 lead in the first period. A pretty early lead for the Wild. Hopefully we can come back, although they are doubling us up on shots right now, so we really need to have a good pushback here to end this first period. Now under 5 minutes, still carrying that 0-1 deficit. And at the end of the period, we got pretty close in shots, so we had an okay pushback, but we need to do more. I'm going to get this started for period number 2 now. Big second period needed of us. We need to tie this game. I really don't want to go into the third needing to score a goal or 2. And then we are going to get a goal as we Tomas Hertl, and a big power play right after that. And we can't double up on him, but Hertl scores again right after that. 2 goals by Hertl in the second period is going to put us up by 1. Going into under 10 minutes now. We are in control of the game and hopefully taking this lead into the third period. Under 5 minutes, we are doing pretty well in shots, 22 shots to 15. Hertl is the difference maker so far as we roll into the third period. Underway now, and Jack Eichel immediately, and then right after that, Dorofeyev is going to put us up 4-1. A huge response here in the second and third period. We'll let this game stand out, but we are firmly in the driver's seat to force a game number 7. Last year, we had a little bit of a tougher time. Knight's going to go back on the power play. It would be nice to extend this to another goal, but at this point, under 10 minutes with a 4, it is a long power play, 4-1 lead, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job right now of forcing a game 7. We did end up scoring on that. The Wild do get a power play right at 5 minutes, and they are going to score to be Ryan Hartman. Sharp angle outside the dots. They cut the lead to 2. But they are under a minute. It would take a miracle for them to come back. 11 seconds now, and that will be the game. Golden Knights going to take it 4-2, force a game 7, and we will jump straight into that one. Underway here in game 7. So far, no score. Wild just got their first shot on goal, and about 16 minutes left to go in the first period. They are, doubling up in shots 4-2. We just got another one 4-3. but no score so far as we near the mid-period mark. Tomas Hertl is going to score another huge goal for us at 7 minutes left to go in the first period. Hertl is putting in a absolutely clutch performance in Game 6 and Game 7. Trying to hold on to this lead going into the end of the first. We are under a minute now in the first. And we will roll into the second period up 1-0. Nemestikov, big pickup by us in the free agency period this last offseason. He's going to put a goal in, and that looks like a super sharp angle right on the in line. And Mark Stone right after that. We are firmly in control. Big difference from last year. Tomas Hertl again. 4-0 for the Knights. This is what the whole series should have looked like. Just on paper, we are a much better team, but really good lead now. Under 10 minutes left to go in the second period. We just need to hold on. The Wild do have a power play. See if our penalty kill can hold, and they will. We are doubling up the Wild in shots, 21-10. Under 4 minutes now in the second period, and we are firmly in the seat to move on to the second round. Kaprizov is going to put one in. The first one I've seen in the playoffs for him this year. He might have scored a couple in the sim before this, but now the Wild get back on the power play. They're looking to make it interesting. If they can put one in here, which they cannot. So we'll say 1-4. We are still in control of the game, nearing the 10-minute mark left in the third period. This is looking like a cruise to the finish line for us. 30 shots. Eriksson X is going to put one in, though. It's going to make it 2-4. 6 minutes left there. Really would have to push for 2 more goals here in under 5 minutes. It would be basically a miracle in the playoffs for them to do that, but certainly not impossible, so we need to keep our eye on it. Under 2 minutes now, and under 30 seconds, we are going to take Game 7, 2-4. We are going to move on to the second round. The furthest we've been so far in the rebuild. We pretty much dominated most of that game, as we should have. We'll move forward now. We'll see who we face in the second round. And it will be the Los Angeles Kings. We're going to sim the first 3 games of the second round. Hopefully this has a better start than it did last round. OT win, a win in Game 2, and then overtime loss in Game 3. Would love to go up 3-1 here in the series, and we will. Gonna send the next game. Hopefully we can put them out and get a little bit of rest for our players. And an easier second round than a first round for us. So we are going to move on to the conference finals. And we will be playing the Edmonton Oilers in the conference finals. Like the last 2 rounds, I'll send the first 3 games. But this is a much tougher matchup for us in real life this year. Knights getting knocked out by the Oilers. But this is an Oilers team that stuck in. Not very good of a team, but they're making noise. They're in the conference finals just like everybody predicted. We did win the first game, but then lost the next 2. A huge Game 4. We need to pick this one up and not go down 3-1, which we will. So we're going to jump in, watch this game. Hopefully, we can cruise to a victory here and get this game back to a Game 6. But it would be very disappointing to go out 4 games in a row to the Oilers after winning Game 1. In the first period now, we're cruising through. 17 minutes left to go in the period. Nothing eventful yet has happened, but we do have a goal now by Mark Stone. Huge goal, kicking us off. Looks like it's on Joel Hofer, so Joel has made his way to Edmonton in this rebuild. Under 10 minutes now, and the Knights are clinging on to that 1-0 lead. Shots are pretty even, 7-7, so it seems like a pretty evenly matched game. But a big goal by Mark Stone has put us up early. Just trying to get to the end of the first period now, and hopefully we can keep this lead going for the rest of the game. Into the first period, and we did end up taking that 1-0 lead into the second. We'll cruise through it now. We are, getting a little bit of an edge on shots, 18-11 now, 18-12. Edmonton's going to get a power play, and the penalty kill will hold. Right after the power play is over, though, Trent Frederick is going to get a goal, even strength on Wallstead, so it'll tie it up. With about 10 minutes left to go in the second period now, we have a 1-1 game. Nearing the end of the second period, shots are pretty much even now, 23-21. I'm going to jump into the third period if we're tied or if we're down like we are now. Darnell Nurse is going to put him up 2-1, and then an Edmonton power play, and it's a Leon Draisaitl goal. We are on the verge of elimination once again, so we're going to hop on in. Underway in the third period, we need 2 big goals to get this series to Game 6. Almost a huge goal by Draisaitl, and then a big save by Wallstead on the rebound. Bouchard's going to tee one up that goes off the glove and over the corner, picked up by McDavid. They got a lot of pressure right now. Eichel's going to tuck the puck away, but McDavid's right there, right out in front, and Wallstead makes a huge save to keep this one at 2 goals. So that was scary. That was a lot of pressure from the Oilers right out of the gate, trying to put this one out of reach. Connor McDavid is doing his stuff, 24 points in the playoffs. We're having a lot of guys. Those are 3 guys in the leaderboards for us, but we are in the conference finals. They should be pretty high up there. This one's going to be picked up by Samoskevich, and he's going to skate it out. He's got a little bit of a step on Wallman. Over to Mestikov, but it gets cut off and then put back on Hofer. He's going to keep it moving. We're under 10 minutes now in the third period, and we have yet to get a really high, dangerous scoring chance on Joel Hofer. But we are going to draw a power play. It is going to be a 2-minute slashing on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This would be a huge power play. We've only scored on 17% of our power plays this year in the playoffs. That is not good enough at all. Looking to change that now, though. Eichel will cut it off. Go over to Theodore. Theodore takes a shot. Big rebound over to Dorofeev. Dorofeev's going to take it across to Eichel. Eichel now across to Marner, and it gets blocked out in front. Big hit by Boldy in the corner. He's going to get the puck. Marner now trying to skate it away off the wall. Eventually poked free and cleared to the line and out. Matt Boldy brings it back in. Holds up, looking for a cutter to the net. Finds Eichel in the middle of the ice. Eichel holds up, shoots, and big save off of Hofer to the glass. Draisaitl is going to take it up the ice and clear it all the way down. Less than a minute left to go on the power play, picked up by Theodore. Up to Boldy, looking to get a stretch pass going, but the Oilers are back and ready for it. Now looking for Marner and just can't get through the defense to cutting Mitch Marner to the back post. Big hit there. Looks like we have Ridley Gregg down in the middle of the ice. Korchinski is going to carry the puck in. Up to Grieg, but it just misses him, and they will clear the zone ourselves. Wallshead behind the net is going to pass it out to Theodore. Under 30 seconds now in the power play, up to Mark Stone. He's been a big performer for us this year in the playoffs. Mark Stone's going to cut wide. Tried to get it across. Samoskevich almost gets a shot away, but it looks like it was blocked up. Big hold by Tomas Hertl. Passes up to the top of Korchinski. Samoskevich over to Hertl, trying to find a shooting lane. Korchinski lets one go, and Hofer is there for the save right into the chest, right into the Oilers logo. And we have 14 seconds left on the power play. Our season's in the balance. We need to get a big goal here. Grieg on the face-off, and he will win it back. It's Korchinski, takes a shot, and Hofer finds it with the glove. He will cover. 10 seconds left on the power play now. Eichel's going to take the face-off on the left-hand side against Trent Frederick. Eichel will win it back. Tomas Hertl gets it up front, tries to find Marner down low, and it's picked off and cleared out. That will do it for the power play as Korchinski scoops it up, cuts in front of the net, and passes up to Marner across the blue line. Looking for Eichel out in front, but it gets poked away, and now the Oilers will have a power play. It's going to be interference on Korchinski, and this is a big penalty kill. We don't kill this one, we pretty much can kiss our season goodbye. We also need to be a little bit of aggressive on the penalty kill. We don't have a lot of time left. If we can pull them in, lure them into a sense of security, maybe we can strike on the penalty kill and get a shorthanded goal. Putting this one deep for Grieg. Get out in front and a big shot. Big save by Hofer again with that arm. Looks like that was the blocker this time, but he's been good when they shoot high on him. Pass it around over to Bouchard, up to Nugent-Hopkins. Tries to drag it in, gets it poked away. Stone's going to pass it up to Korczak, and we are going to push down the ice. Looking for Stone now, trying to get it over for Grieg, and it just gets cut off. Behind the net, though, Grieg's going to put in a little bit of work, kill some time for us. Now a big turnover, though. Korczak's going to step in. Mark Stone's going to take it off his stick. Now Mark Stone's going to look over for Korczak. Backhand and a lunging save by Hofer. Now up top for Theodore, and it gets blocked on the shot. He had a good one-time attempt, but it just couldn't make it through. We are pushing now on the penalty kill, like I said, trying to get some scoring, but here's Savoy. McDavid now. Down goes Korczak to block the shot. A huge block by Korczak, and now up to Nemestikov. He has a little bit of a step on Nurse. Cut to the inside. Nemestikov with a shot, and Hofer makes the save again. Hofer's having a fantastic game here, keeping this one a 2-goal deficit. We've been pretty dangerous on the penalty kill as Bouchard carries in. Theodore's going to pass it over for Hanifin. This should be the end of the power play. We're going to carry this one in. It's Mitch Marner, gets it poked away, then takes a shot. That one almost trickles through, but does not. Bouchard down low, Nurse across, and that is going to be McDavid, his 14th of the playoffs, and that is pretty much going to put it out of reach. Big, big goal there. 3 goals now needed in about 2 minutes. This is going to be tough to do. The defense has been very good for the Oilers here in the third period. And with 50 seconds left, Reinbacher will take a tripping penalty, and that is pretty much going to do it. I can't really see a way that we score 3 goals on the penalty kill in 50 seconds. I guess crazy things can happen. This would be pretty much a miracle. A good season this year. Conference finals is definitely an improvement as we turn the puck over. Coming in on Korchinski now. He's going to get a turnover. We did make the team better. You know, we still have another year or so, as the Oilers are going to take a penalty here to even it out at 4-4. You know, maybe it's not over yet. We're going to go ahead and pull the goalie, Eichel, on the face-off. He will win it back. We're going to take a big shot from the point. They're looking for the rebound, and it just can't find Marner. Kevin Ball's going to skate it up, get to the blue line, take a shot. He is going to miss the net. Down to 27 seconds left. Up to Korchinski. Korchinski's going to find Marner. Marner coming across the right-hand side. Takes a big shot, and Hofer with the blocker again. Here's Eichel to take a deep shot to Hofer. He's going to keep it moving. Why not? Up to Manson. Over to Frederick. Gets shouldered off, but we are at 10 seconds now. 6 seconds, and it looks like our season will come to an end in Vegas this year as Hofer just continues to put on a clinic with the blocker. At the end of the playoffs, the New York Rangers did end up bringing home the Stanley Cup. They did beat the Oilers 2-4 in the finals. As you can see there, the Vegas Golden Knights out in the conference final. So a pretty good year from us. We just couldn't quite get it done. So we'll take a look at these playoff stats, take a look at the playoff awards and the regular season awards, and take a look at who was good for us and the other teams in the playoffs. Jack Eichel is going to lead our team with 19 points. Tomas Hertl with a point per game. Marner, a lot of guys right up there with almost a point per game. Matt Boldy with 16. Dorfier with 15. Good playoffs all around for most of our team. Theodore is going to lead our defense with 10 points. Only 3 goals, but 7 assists. Leading our team in goals is Tomas Hertl. We saw him score some huge goals in the simulation. We just couldn't quite get it done when it mattered the most. Looking at our goalie for the playoffs, Wallstedt put up a 891 and a 3 goals against. That is just not good enough. He is young, so he probably doesn't have a lot of experience yet in the playoffs, so hopefully he gets better, but that probably was our downfall in the end, just not good enough from the goalie. Looking at the entire league, Connor McDavid did lead the playoffs with 33 points, although not winning the Stanley Cup. I doubt he gets the Conn Smythe. Leon Draisaitl at 32 points. They both had 15 goals. Alexis Lafreniere is going to lead the Ranger with points, 25 points. He's probably your Conn Smythe winner this year. Only 9 goals, but 16 assists. So not a lot of scoring, a lot of high scoring from the Rangers, but a bunch of guys here at a pretty good clip. 3 guys in a row at over point per game. Marco Kasper had a great playoffs, 23 points in 18 games. Same with Perreault, 22 points in 22 games, exactly a point per game. JT Miller, 21 in 22 games, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 21 as well. Leading the playoffs in goals this year, it was McDavid. Draisaitl tied him with 15. And taking a look at the goalies, Shesterkin was your Stanley Cup winning goalie, 16 wins, put up a 916 and a 252, a really good year in the playoffs. Joe Hofer put up a pretty good year. We saw that blocker lashing out, 911 and a 298. Not too bad, 14 wins for him. Wallstedt did put up 9 wins, but an 891 is, the worst here of the top goalies, pretty much conclusively. Dostal had a 901. He did allow a 314 goals against, but I guess he was facing a lot of shots in Detroit. Levi put up a 928. Really, really great save percentage out of him, 226. So, really good goalie performance by the Buffalo Sabre, but they could not get it done in the playoffs. But they did make the playoffs, so that's a success in itself. Jay Guttinger with a 907 and a 272, and that will round out your top goalies for the playoffs this year. Take a look at awards. Nikolai Ehlers is going to win the Art Ross right after Aho did, so back-to-back Carolina Hurricanes. Hart's also going to go to Ehlers. That's the second year in a row. Ehlers having a great career in Carolina. Fox is going to win the Norris for the 3rd year in a row. Fox is setting up quite the dynasty there. Lady Bing is going to go to Ehlers for the 2nd year in a row. Calder's going to go to Kimmel in Nashville. Conn Smythe will go to Adam Fox. Interesting, not Lafreniere. Vezina Trophy will go to Shesterkin for the 2nd year in a row. Really good year for the Rangers. Jennings is going to go to Levi. Great performance out of him. Bill Masterson is going to go to Philip Broberg. Jack Adams is going to go Romano for the LA Kings. Selke to Robert Thomas for the 2nd year in a row. Ted Lindsay to Ehlers. And the Rocket Richard to Mikko Rantanen. So that caps off year number 3. Conference finals, not too bad. We didn't quite get to where we wanted to in that year. Going to be pushing that really hard in year number 4. We are going to look at the contracts. We'll get into the draft. We have a couple of draft picks, like a 2nd and a 3rd this year. We might spin those. Our draft pool, our prospect pool is getting pretty light right now, so you might want to replenish that a little bit while we have the picks. Mark Stone is our big contract to offer up in this re-sign period. We have some smaller guys, Kolasar, Miramonov, Vladislav Mestikov, those kind of guys. I'm not sure if we'll bring them back. They do want extensions, but we'll see what they want in terms of money. And I think everybody else is progressing pretty well. Looks like Korchinski's going to go up to a 90 overall going into next year. Wallstead still at an 89. I am really excited. Marner up to a 96. This is a good team, and we have a really strong mix of young and old here. Our team should stay pretty good for a long time. So I have no doubt that next year we'll be right back to where we were. But going to work on these contracts. Going to see if we can get Mark Stone here at a cheaper deal. And he has come down. His ask was over $7 million in the year. He does want 6.6 now. He is 36 years old, still an 88 overall, still has that X Factor ability. I would like to try and get him on this team still. Gonna try and mess around with this a little bit. Maybe we can do a modified no trade clause and get a little bit of a cheaper salary. That would be really nice for the team. Maybe if we can get him at like 6 million, that would be a really good second line option at an 88 overall. And as he gets older, that might not put us too much in debt. And in a 16 team, we can move him if we need to. So I'll send that over to him. Hopefully he is accepting that pretty soon. We do only have, let's see what our extension dollars left are. 12 million, so it'll be about 6 million after Stone signs, if he does sign. So that's still a pretty good amount of money to sign these guys that we need to. Advanced a couple days, and Mark Stone is accepting our offer, so I think a pretty good contract. Surprisingly, Mark Stone has stuck around. At least in the game, he has been all right. So I'll keep him around. The rest of our guys, though, like I said, locked up pretty much our entire core. Now we have a little over $6 million to spend on some of the depth pieces. I might, this is going to be $7 million. I might hold out on some of these guys just to see if there are some better pieces out there, but I like where we're at. A couple guys that we signed this year took some discounts, which is really going to help our cap situation. Especially, we need to keep an eye on, somebody like a Reinbacher. He is going to be up for an extension, and I'm assuming it's going to be huge. So this next year is probably the best chance we have before some of these huge extensions start kicking in, like Korchinski is going to need one, Reinbacher. These are two guys that are going to be demanding a ton of money. I'm not sure we'll be able to keep both, but they are RFAs, so we could, at least get something back for them. Ridley Greig will need one too, so it'll be a big year next year if we continue that far, if we can't get that Stanley Cup. And that'll do it for part 2 of our series, Rebuilding the Golden Knights with Mitch Marner. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe so you can catch all of the rebuilds that I do, just like this one. If you didn't catch part 1, go find that on my series, and you can find my New York Islanders rebuild in the same playlist on my channel. Make sure you stick around for part number 3 as we finish up this series with season number 4. Thanks for all your support, and I'll catch you next time.